Hi, everybody. Welcome to Queers and Soaps. I'm Tommy, and today I'm joined by my lovely co host, Dana.
Hello.
We are back after a little break, just a 1 week break, for Dawson's Creek season 2. Tonight we're discussing episodes 10 and 11. So I'll roll the credits and we'll get right into it. So episode 10 is titled High Risk Behavior. And Dawson is casting his movie for his new romance script that he wrote.
It's not about him or Joey, right?
Like, why even deny it? Like, everybody knows.
Not about me. It's nothing to do with me or Joey.
A girl from New York City comes and what? Like, seriously?
He's not hiding it. That's the thing. He wants everyone to go, oh, Dawson, is this about us? It's about us. I can't.
So Jen is serving as his producer and casting director. So she's passing out flyers, trying to get people to audition. I like the little like montage of people like auditioning for it, and they're just like, "Oh my god, this is so bad."
Yeah, it was. Well, I kept thinking, I'm like, is it the script, Dawson, or is it the acting? It was a little bit of both because it like even the back and forth between Pacey and Dawson in his room.
Oh, that's right in the beginning,
Yeah,
where they make it look like they like were expressing their feelings for each other.
like, and I was like, they're trying to trick me. I won't be tricked. Like even that little back and forth because Pacey, he can act. I mean, it's Joshua Jackson, so obviously, like he
Yeah.
can act. He's doing the thing, but it's like so many words. He's saying
Yes.
so many words.
He said that. He's like, it's a little wordy.
Yeah, like you filling up like your whole mouth with all these words that you have to say at like some good pace. Otherwise, we'd be sitting here forever listening to you go on how many different words you can use to describe one thing at once.
Pacey made me laugh because he said something like, "Why do I always have to be the girl?" Or "Why I don't know how comfortable I am being the girl in this situation."
Yeah. Well, he played a good girl. I mean, like I thought obviously they're doing a little meta,
I like how they did the whole like Dawson leaning into him like he's gonna kiss him, but he really was
Right.
just like going to look at the script.
Oh, yeah. I would love to see a blooper reel of them like doing that scene. I'm sure it was a lot of bullshittery going on between the two of them, like with that,
Because it was the 90s, I don't know if they would have jokingly kissed, but nowadays I feel like people would just like lay one on me.
It's like you get good. I always love it when two guys start arguing most of the time. I'm always like they're like this, like fighting each other, and it's like kiss each other, no kiss each other, kiss. It was one of those moments. Now kiss.
Joey is still taking an art class, and I'm really confused about this art class because she talked about failing if she doesn't finish this project, and I'm like, is this a legit school class, or is this like, as far as I knew, this was like an outside of school course she was taking for fun?
Oh yeah, like any art class I've ever taken that wasn't in the regular structure of school or college, it
Uh-huh.
was kind of like you're gonna be probably really embarrassed. And I thought of it more as her taking it like as an assignment, like because how Joey do. Like she just kind of drills it, drills it, drills it, drills it, drills it, gets it done, gets it done. And
Yeah,
like to her, it's like it is a project and she will fail if she doesn't turn it in, kind of thing. That
gotcha.
was my assumption on it. But like it could be. I mean, she is a teen. So
Yeah,
like maybe like they have vocational type classes maybe that are
maybe,
outside high school that's like a separate thing.
maybe, maybe, and maybe you get like college credit for it or something.
Yeah, and they could have legitimate projects, for
Yeah.
grades.
So her project is to draw the male form nude. And Dawson comes upon her drawing this,
Mhm.
and they have this back and forth about maybe she's not, quiet little shy Joey Potter anymore, or she tries to play like she's not. And he's like, "How many times did you blush?" She was like, "I didn't." And then she's like, "The whole time."
The way she described it, though, I thought was pretty funny because, like, she kinda goes sarcasm first, but then when she realistically describes it, that's exactly how it is in art class. Like, it's
Mhm.
just a person, they're just standing there, and then they leave and get put on some music or get a drink of water, and that's it.
Yeah,
That's all it is. It just becomes you become numb to it in a weird way, like, when they're around.
yeah.
Mhm.
So then Jack comes over and sees her drawing, and I just kinda shake my head. I'm like, when he says, "Nice shading and great use of, like, dark by the thigh," and I'm just like, "You're some master artist. You're in the same grade as her. Calm down."
Do you think he's trying too hard? Do you think he's trying too hard, or is that just,
I don't
like
think he's trying too hard. I just think that, like Dawson, the writer is trying too hard by putting too many words in his mouth.
like, always making them seem way more intelligent than, like, they really? Because like, it's a roller coaster ride with the dialogue because you got, like, 10,000 point words over here, and then the emotional intelligence of a 16-year-old.
I feel like the writers just like sat with like an encyclopedia in front of them and was like, "How many difficult words can I make them say this week?"
So, we hit up this group of words a lot last season. Let's move over to this side of the dictionary, you know?
um, so Jack, because he is a klutz, ends up spilling water, I guess, for the brush, maybe, or maybe there was a drink. He spilled something
Yeah,
over her drawing, so she
yeah,
has to start from scratch, and it's due in like a day.
yeah. Very convenient is what I'm gonna say. Very convenient.
So then
Oh,
Jack offers to pose for her.
very convenient. Oopsie. Oh, I gotta be naked in front of you. Oh no. How did that happen?
Just so willing to be naked. But then, like, when he walked away, he looked like, "What did I just do?" Like, he had this look on his face, like, "Oh god, I have to be naked in front of her."
Yeah, I actually have to take my pants off
Yeah,
and be naked in front of her now. The
yeah.
person that I really, really wanna be with forever.
Um, Nobody else knows about this.
No.
This, at least not in this episode.
They could not handle it.
Right,
Nobody in that high school could handle what they were trying to pull. It's also very thin. It's a thin reasoning. She
right.
doesn't she you know what I mean? There's art books with models in them that she can draw from that I'm sure the teacher would highly accept. It was very thin reasoning for him to be naked in front of her. It feels the kind of forced, a little forced. But
But
like,
also, wouldn't the teacher be grading off of the model that was in class? Like, the teacher doesn't know Jack. How are they gonna grade to show that this was accurate?
okay,
Like, "Come
well,
here, kid. Take your pants off. Let me see if it's accurate."
let's play out like Joey hands in her, Here's my drawing.
And here's my model.
Joey, this is not the model that was here. This is a completely different man. I hope now, Joey, why are you like with naked men from time to time, you young
Outside
super
of the classroom.
outside of this classroom? Like, like, could you imagine being the teacher and expecting a very specific kind of drawing of a specific model and
Mhm.
it not being that? I'd be concerned, highly concerned for that poor girl. Like, what's going on at home, Joey? What's going on?
Right. Um, Chris is back, and he wants to audition for the lead,
Yeah.
and Abby acts like she's too cool to do it, but she ends up auditioning, and Chris basically just wants to, like, use this to, like, hook up with girls.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought for a second there that maybe he was, like, interested. He was kind of really trying to convince Abby, and I was like, "Is Chris interested in Abby? Is Abby his kind of girl? Like, that's weird." Like,
I think Chris is just interested in sex. That's all he
you
wants.
know, you're right. That's actually very true. He's kinda like what I thought Pacey was going to be like in the beginning of this whole series so far, but
Yeah. Speaking of Pacey, him and Andy, they kinda have a sex discussion.
oh, I like
Um They talk about if they were ready, what she would want. She says she has this fantasy of like a French restaurant for dinner and then like a walk by the water, I think. and then like maybe like an Airbnb. Well, not an Airbnb, a B&B.
What bed and breakfasts used to be or
Yeah.
would be in the future.
um, and he runs into her in the drugstore, and she's picking up her medication, which is Prozac, by the way.
Yeah,
So
okay.
bipolar.
Yeah, well, but, well, no, I think that might be, I would think that has to do with depression, but I didn't look it up, and I was like, "Oh, okay." Here, I
Okay,
have to
so maybe
Google
depression.
it. Yeah.
Um, and she kind of like hides the fact that it's for her. She says it's for her mom, and that her and her mom have the same name. I don't know
Yeah.
how accurate that is, but he buys it. Because he just calls her Mrs. McPhee, so he wouldn't know her first name unless somebody said, "Please call me Andrea" or whatever.
Yeah, but also at the same time, it's kinda like, how often do daughters and mothers have the same name? Like,
Yeah,
exactly the same name. Mhm. It's
right.
but, hey, Pacey just trusts her wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Doesn't need any extra things from her.
Um, he's very sweet with her. Even I was kind of swooning over Pacey this whole episode. Like,
Oh,
even just the way he held her and like was just so willing to like do
the
whatever
whole
she wanted to
thing!
do.
Well, like, that whole like, the whole discussion was literally Pacey saying, like, "If you wanna have sex, we definitely can have sex, but I'm legitimately not trying to pressure you into having sex.
Yeah.
I'm actually kinda weirded out that, like, you're bringing this up." And, like, but, like, he even like, the whole thing opens up with him, like, with a clear STD and HIV test.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he got tested.
How like, men don't do that. Not even like so, like, he's already winning 100,000,000 points by doing that, and then it's like and then he's just like, "No, listen, girl, when you want to." And he felt so and it felt very genuine, like, the
Mhm.
whole time. I
Right.
oh gosh, my heart swelling literally with where nothing could
Isn't
happen.
it crazy how different he is from season 1?
Yes, and to be honest, like, I'm so scared for them because this is way too great.
It's
They're
way too great. You're like, "Her mental health is gonna come into play, I know it."
something is going to happen that has to destroy them, and I am not here for that. I
Oh
want them to be together forever, but end it here. We're done. We're good. They can go off to the sunset, have millions of
End
babies.
the show right here, so I know that they're together forever.
We're great. I'm great. I just check in ever so often, a couple episodes in. "Oh, hey, we're great. We're still in love. Perfect. Love it. Thank you, Pacey, Andy. Have a great one." Yeah.
So,
Horrified, petrified every day.
um, Jen has a few critiques for Dawson's script.
Mm,
Um,
good ones.
yeah. Basically, that maybe he should take Chris's advice and sex it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's so not Dawson. Dawson doesn't know anything about sex.
The fact that he's, like, had this very singular like, the whole idea behind adding sex was just to kinda, like, break up the purity aspect of his
Right.
so, like, that definitely needed to happen. I just don't think it needs to be, like, sex. It could be something else. Like, just stop, like, it doesn't have to go there, and also, it's, like, the late '90s. This is all during, like, the high of, like, the teen movie
Mhm.
revival. Like, it was just kind of, like, out of control. I mean, the writer and creator of the show was one of the main people to do that, you know? So,
Yeah.
like, everybody's like, "Put more sex into it," and it's just like, that is kinda boring. Like, I like Dawson's right, and then I think also Jen's right. I think they're both right.
Yeah, there's a happy medium.
Yeah.
Um, so Jack comes to Joey's house. I don't know where Bessie was. Maybe she was working at the restaurant.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know where the baby was.
Both gone. Very, very convenient.
um, and he comes out in a towel, and he's like, I could leave the towel on until we get comfortable. And
Ooh.
she's just like, no. She basically is like, I'm an adult. I can handle this. And then he starts to say towel off. She's like, maybe, yeah, you're right. Leave it on.
This was the single most awkward moment of the show ever. Like, Katie Holmes was doing everything. I don't know if this is just her being her, because I can imagine how awkward it must felt at that like, in real life. Like, I just kept thinking to myself, I was like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, this is so awkward, this is so awkward."
And then he or she drops something and she goes to pick it up and he also goes to pick it up and the towel drops. So it's like, well, here we are.
Well,
Balls out.
this is it.
And the whole time I'm thinking this is such a ripoff of Titanic, which came out a year prior to this. And then they find out that they mentioned Titanic.
They did, they did, they did, they
So
did.
Jack's basically like, draw me like one of your French girls because she should have went to France.
Well, she would be able to if she went to France,
Right.
sir. Did not go to France, so she cannot.
She could have took art in France.
You should be there doing art, drawing a
Right.
French man.
Right.
Probably would be great for her.
So they inevitably get into a discussion about sex. Jack admits that he has had sex all of one time.
It is a
Um,
big deal. That's a big deal. At 16 was a big deal. I
I
remember being
guess.
it was a big deal. Oh my god, you had sex. You know everything. I know
You know
so
everything.
many things.
And she asks him to describe it. And again, very wordy explanation,
Yeah,
comparing it to Van Gogh's Starry Night
like, come on.
and all these other artists and paintings. And somehow this looks like it's turning Joey on because she's kind of like waiting with bated breath for the next description of it.
Yeah. She's feeling it. I mean, she's feeling it enough for sure to like keep it
And then
going.
I don't know if she spilled something.
Mm,
Something happened, but the initial reaction that I had
mm.
was that he was also aroused and that he finished.
No, I think because they were talking, he was thinking about the time and they were talking about it and it was getting pretty hot and heavy. I think he just got an erection. Unless
Oh,
he could have just like
I thought maybe
like
he
16.
but
You know what I
then they
mean?
didn't really talk about that, so then I was like, maybe
No, I think it was
not.
like that's why they're like, "Oh, we just shouldn't talk about this anymore." Like, cause like obviously like things are getting too fast. Cause a
I
lot of it was like a back and forth about like, you know, are they gonna like, is it too much? Like he kept just like testing the waters, kept
yeah.
tiptoeing like here and there.
I did think about that. I was like, is he just sitting there like with an erection in front of her?
I think it's more like they were looking at each other, right, in the eyes,
Yeah.
and she's drawing and then catches his eyes, and he's just talking, like, telling like, spitting game, right, and
Uh-huh.
she's eating it up, and then in that process, got an erection, so they didn't notice the erection, and he probably was just feeling himself, and then
Uh,
realized, like, once they broke the contact, kinda went like,
mhm.
"Oh, you've got a whoop
Yeah.
whoop," and then it's like, "Ah." And then back to awkward, and she don't know what to do with that because how
Yeah.
scary is the first erection, right? I mean, it's a little
Dawson didn't
scary.
get those.
It's a little scary. Girls don't get those things, you know what
Dawson
I
was a Ken doll. He didn't have
mean?
erections.
Yeah, what do we do with that? And what am I supposed to do with that? I don't know.
So
And
she admits that it was too much for her. Like maybe she's not as grown up as she thinks she is.
right,
He's
right.
dressed again.
Yeah.
But I was kind of feeling the chemistry as they kind of inched closer and closer, and they kind of did that close face thing and started kissing. I was like, okay.
Yeah. Girls getting hers. Regardless, go for it. Get Dawson out of your system, friendo. Know what it's like to at least kiss one other boy besides him. Mm.
So Pacey sets up a date night for him and Andy, and he basically gives her her first time fantasy.
Oh, so beautiful.
And they get to the B&B, and he's telling her, we don't have to do this if you don't want to. He's like, I'm just happy being around you, with you, spending time with you. And she keeps saying, you're making, every time he says something nice, she's like, you're making me really want to, though.
I'm just saying, like, I never felt like that more than anybody else. Like, I felt that with those words because it's like, it's crazy how, like, respect and consent, gentleness, and honesty and caring can do for the libido. You know what I'm saying? It's wild that a girl could just it gets her going when a guy is honest about how he feels about her, you know,
Mhm.
and
Uh,
gives her authority to decide whatever she wants to do with her own body. It's perfect. Also, I love the idea how they talked about safe sex beforehand. It was very responsible of the show to talk about
yeah.
their safe sex practices happening in this teenage drama.
Oh, yeah, everything from the HIV test down to the condom.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, like, they made it okay for these, like, and they're literally talking about a lot about consent because, like, he's very nervous. He doesn't want to make her first time anything other than the best thing ever. So,
Right.
like, whatever that means, and he's taken all the steps. It's beautiful. Mhm.
So now we're led to believe that 3 couples are all having sex at the same time.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Um, Dawson comes crawling through Jen's window, and we know that Jen is on the top floor because Billy climbed through that window once. And I'm like,
Right?
did he take Joey's ladder and like just like walk it over next door and climb through her window?
I gotta go get me some booty. No, I didn't see
Now
that
I wanna know what your reaction was when he came into Jen's bedroom and
coming.
they
Like,
started
"What are you
kissing.
doing?" Like, I to me, I'm like, "What?" When
Were
did
you
this
like, are they seriously going through it?
oh, it felt like there was no real, like, lead up to it.
Mhm.
If there was, it was solely, like, um, Dawson leading Jen on, because, like, Jen really you could see she's got this, like, the way Michelle Williams plays it, it's almost like you could see her body lurch towards Dawson all the time
Yeah,
before she catches herself back up again, like, "I can't be doing this with him." Like, she's really crushing hard on him, can't
right.
get over it. And that's why it's like that first scene when he climbs through her window, she's like, "What is going on?" And then he just kisses her. She's like, "Okay, I am here for this. I can't hold back anymore. Like, if he's
Right.
really gonna throw his body on me, I have to make that thing." Like, it's not possible to not, right?
Right.
I mean, I feel her. Like,
He
if I
came to me.
right, like, he's my biggest crush I have right now. Like, I think and
And
fantasize about
also an ex-boyfriend, like, we've had
yeah, yeah, like, you could feel
before.
it feels like she's thinking about him all the time, and when he shows up in her wake, like, in her vicinity, she's reactive all the
Yeah,
time to everything he's doing. That's how Michelle Williams is playing it. I'm picking up on it. It's wonderful. Perfect.
it's wonderful.
It's wonderful. It's perfect subtle acting, like body language.
Yeah.
And if your crush is crawling through your bedroom window and just says, "I'm here," boop, and then it's happening, yeah, kissing 'em. That's happening.
And then we see Joey, and Jack kissing still, and they kinda take it to the couch.
Yeah. Oh, Snooky on the couch.
And then we see Andy and Pacey holding hands walking home.
Because they decide to not do it. He ultimately says, "I don't wanna do this because I think you're not ready. I did that. I feel like it influenced you by doing all of this. It doesn't feel right." Right?
Or so we think, to be continued.
The end of that was just kind of like, "Okay, I don't know why this is a to be continued." Everybody seems like everybody's, okay, moving on.
Everybody's doing what they wanna do.
Yeah, that's okay. They had consent. Everybody had consensual interactions with their partners. Why not continue? You
They all
know?
talk everybody talks about it before they did it.
Fine. Why are we to be continuing? Like, nothing is fine. Nothing's wrong. The next episode starts. Oh, I was wrong. There was a to be continued.
And now you see why I said we're just gonna watch 2 this
Like,
time.
yeah, yeah. It felt, but like, I don't know. Did everybody feel like it was very cliffhangery at the end, or it was the whole point is to us to
It's very
believe?
strange because
Yeah,
I feel like TV at this point was pretty much serialized, like, we were just kinda getting into that, like,
yeah,
nothing's condensed into, like, 1 episode anymore.
yeah.
So I maybe because it's continuing this one story,
Yeah.
that's why
Okay.
they did. Because yeah, I feel like the late '90s, they were still playing around with that to be continued, but that
Yeah.
goes away by, like, the early 2000s, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's like a week to week viewing, so you're not really getting it like I am back to back. So
Mhm.
I'm always just like, I don't need no recaps. I just seen it. Like, let's go.
That's how
Move
I
on.
am with, Wicked Wicked Games that
Yeah.
I'm watching with, um, Derek.
Mhm.
Um, their recaps are, like, literally 5 minutes, and I'm like, I watch them in bulk. I'm like, "I literally just watched this 2 minutes
I don't
ago.
need this.
Skip."
Yep.
And I'm usually one for, like, a theme song, but I even skip that because I'm just like, "I have too much to watch. I don't have time for this."
I'm not gonna lie, I'm like that about Dynasty. I'm like, no, we need to get back to it because sometimes people keep dropping cliffhangers, and I'm like, no, 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 skip, skip, next episode. There's theme song, goodbye. Recap, goodbye. Like, no, I need to get right to it and right to it. Wanna
So,
drop.
was there anything else you wanted to say about episode 10 before we move on to the next one?
I love Pacey so goddamn. Pacey and Andy, OTP. That's who my new one is. I root for them. They better live forever. I know they won't. Get
Forever.
that out
Alright. Um, episode 11 is titled "Sex She Wrote,"
there. Mhm.
and that asshole teacher's back, that English teacher that hates children.
He has no qualms, which I'm fine with. You know what I mean?
Um, Abby Morgan is also back, and apparently she has not been handing in her projects, and if she does not hand in this project, she will get a failing grade and have to go to summer school.
Yep.
The class ends, and Chris finds a note, and I don't remember exactly what the note said, but something along the lines of like, "Last night was really great, but sex changes everything, and we should talk," or
Mhm.
something like that. I don't. That's
We
not
should
really
talk before anything happens again,
okay.
specifically. So it implies that something happened
Right,
and that they want to wait.
right. Um, and they were very clever because obviously, I knew what happened and who did it and who didn't. Um, it was very interesting the wording they use for each couple
Mm.
because it's like, were you playing the did they or didn't they game the whole time? Like, who's telling the truth?
I kind of was just like thinking to myself, I was like, I really didn't immediately think like I just thought that maybe they both did, and that maybe this was I first thought it might be Joey trying to tell Jack, maybe we need to cool it
Mhm.
because she's feeling some type of weird way, or I thought it was Jen telling Dawson because we had a little like moment on their porch where she was like Dawson was trying to do his thing where he's like talking,
But
getting
even
spit.
that, like the wording that they use, like she's like standing
Yeah,
there looking like she's in shock, and
yeah,
I think she said something like, "So that just happened," and it's like, "What just happened?" It's like, "Did you have sex?"
exactly, exactly. Oh my god.
And Dawson's like, basically like, I'm not mad that it happened, and I hope it happens again." And I'm like, "So did you have sex?"
Kinda like she goes like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, can we take him?" That was like a nice or an what was it, like a pleasurable encounter? I think that's what she said.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
that implies that something pleasurable happened. But
right.
then, like, I don't know what I was thinking, like, when he did so it's kinda like so that also implies like, they really heavily implying that everybody had sex because they're
Mhm.
doing, like, the walk of shame slash separation after some sort of time together, like, either in the early morning or late, late, late night, and like, even now I think about it, even Pacey and Andy are doing the cuddle, like, right before they leave each other, in a
Yeah.
weird way. So, like, it really wanted you to like, mystery was all that's all it was about. It was just a sex mystery, which is interesting.
So Abby decides that this is gonna be the project that she hands in for English
Oh
test.
god, man, I
She's
can't.
gonna solve who wrote this letter.
Like, how bored in your life do you have to be to, like, insert yourself in, like, people who lives who are, like, just doing nothing, just living they're living, let them live. I can't with her.
So she, like, taunts Jen, and Jen pretty much says yes, that she and Dawson had sex, And Chris was like, "Oh, you solved it," and she's like, "Please, a sexual confession from Jen Lindley."
Yeah, I
He's
mean,
like,
like, also the way Jen said it sounded like it was kinda like, "Yeah, we had sex," like, "Oh, we boo your banks, booed your no problem," and then it's kinda like, yeah, well, she knows Abby is fishing, like, for bullshit, and she's just so anything Jen could say to Abby also could be considered trustworthy information, but I
so
can't.
then,
So unnecessary.
Dawson actually asked Joey. Wait, does he ask her? No, I think he tells her that they did some rewrites to his scripts, but she
Mhm,
doesn't know what they are.
mhm,
But Chris kind of taunts her because he has the script because he's the lead actor in it, and he's like he gives it to her to read,
mhm.
and then him and Abby annoy her, and she walks off, and she forgets her naked drawing of Jack,
No.
which Abby and Chris find, and they're like the plot thickens, and now they think that Joey and Jack had
Yeah.
sex.
Well, like, what Chris and Abby are doing is that they're confirming their suspects could p with evidence, could
Mhm.
potentially have had, like, a sexual encounter because
Right.
there's only so many people, like, and she even narrows down the suspects, like, earlier in lunch, like, it could be it's only 3 sets of people, like, you know what I mean? And then they're collecting signatures so they can do handwriting analysis. Like, they're going in.
Saying it's a petition to put condom dispenser in schools.
Yeah. Yeah, they're being, like, absolute sleuths, not gonna lie, and, like, this is just another one of those things, so the to me, like, the whole thing, it just feels so incredible. Like, the way she performs the release of this evidence so everybody sees it, so, like, how Dawson gets his hands on it, how Joey gets her hands on the script so they can both, be pissy about what each other did when they don't really have any room to be pissy about it.
Right.
It's diabolical. Abby's diabolical is what she is. Damn.
I think they like approach Jack at some point, and he's like, "Yes, no, yeah." I mean, yeah, like he's using like flip flops on his hands.
Yeah. Yeah. They did that thing that, like, lawyers do where they just pepper you with a bunch of questions until you just fumble over your own thing. It's very courtroom drama.
Yeah. So there was a scene where she was like interrogating Pacey, and Pacey just like can't stand this girl. Like every
Yes.
time she like approaches him, he's just like, "What do you want, Abby? Like, I'm not in the
Right.
mood for you."
Right.
Um, and she brings up the fact that he has sexual experience, and she mentions with the teacher. And I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, I thought this was a rumor, and I was like, all of a sudden, this is like public knowledge that it was true. Like, I
No.
know that it kind of came out in the all nighter episode, but Abby wasn't there for that.
No.
Granted, Chris could have told her, but
Yeah. I mean, like that. Yeah, because if you think about it, Chris was there when he kind of confessed to Andy that it
yeah,
actually happened in the little
yeah,
questionnaire. So, yeah, Chris could have totally told her. I mean, like, that's what I mean. Chris and Abby's relationship is really weird, and I don't understand it because it's like Chris is doing all this. He's literally being her cameraman. So I'm
right.
like, are you into this girl? Are you just trying to like hook up with her? It's weird that if you're just trying to hook up with her, you're doing all this stuff for telling her little secrets and helping
Yeah.
her with this project. Torturing all these other people, when they're just fucking literally living their own life. That's all they're doing.
So Abby lures them all to the classroom at nighttime, and like you said, she has Chris as her cameraman. She's doing a video project,
Yeah.
and she's like laying out all her evidence. And um, is it Dawson and Joey? Oh yeah, so she's basically baiting Dawson and Joey,
Mhm.
and they start attacking each other.
Mhm.
And they're like, just tell the truth. Did you or didn't you? And they both won't answer. And then it just like swells into them both screaming yes at each other that they both had sex with their
Yeah.
significant others.
Ugh, yeah.
And Jen's the first to stand up and says, "That's not true. No, we didn't."
Yes, because it's wrong. It's wrong for Dawson. It's wrong for Dawson and Joey to claim that they had sex with these people when they did not. It's
Right.
not cool.
And then Jack more calmly says, "We also didn't."
Poor Jack.
So then that leaves Andy and Pacey, who we were led to believe didn't, and they were very sweet, and it was all like virginal and like PG. And apparently she couldn't
Yeah.
resist Pacey that night, and maybe they did it, and then he walked her home.
That's what I'm saying, like, what did they do? They go back to the bed and breakfast and do it in there? Did it in the car? Like, what happened? Did it happen after that? Is this, like, the next day, or is this the I would assume it's the next day because we got all those scenes of the end of that night.
Yeah.
So, like,
So maybe they just didn't stay at the bed and breakfast?
maybe, I don't know. It's kinda just it was
'Cause, you
weird.
know, she always worries about her mom, so maybe she wanted to get home to her mom.
Maybe. I mean, like, sometimes things happen in cars from time to time. Mm.
Yeah, but because of her fantasy, I feel like it happened in the bed.
Yeah, I think so too. But, like, they went out of their way to show the shot of them getting up, leaving, and going out to the street, but, like, it coulda who knows? Any time between the cutaway from the bed to the street, stuff could have happened, they just
Yeah.
obviously aren't showing it. But, like, they did show Pacey being really weird throughout the whole episode, trying
Mhm.
like, being really cold, distant, and there is, like Andy does find out also that there's like, with Abby being a total ass, like, that like, everybody seems to know what happened between the 2 of them because they know, themselves, and
Yeah.
this this whole little, like, interrogation by Abby, like, climaxes with the 2 of them.
Um, so now Abby's hurt because he thinks that them having sex was a mistake and that he doesn't wanna be with her.
Yeah.
So she runs off crying, and Jack kinda, like, gives him the look like, "You hurt my sister," and Pacey just kinda mumbles, "It's not like that, man," like, as everybody leaves. And the closing of that scene was amazing. Jen shredded Abby.
Yes, she ate her up.
She was like, "I don't know who has the misfortune of, claiming you as their child,
Pathetic.
but you're
You're
pathetic."
Ugh, yes, loved it. I mean, like, also when Andy, like, said that Pacey discussed her, oh, that killed me. It killed me watching Pacey hear that, and then just, like, beelining out, and then
When
literally
oh, no, like, I wanna go back to the other episode where they were together forever and now they're broken up.
yeah, yeah, this is crushing my life. Like, I knew, like, I was sitting there, I'm like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god." But they love to play with my heart. They do. But yes, Jen did the most because I feel, and also they caught all that shit on camera. I hope Abby watches that scene while she just eats her face up every single time because it's exactly what she should have heard. Like, Abby was doing this for literally no reason other than to hurt people and also get some sort of grade. She's irreprehensible. She's literally like the worst character ever,
Right.
and I love to hate her.
At least you're there. At least you love to hate her.
I love hating her, and, like, I don't there's just no redemption ever for her, so I don't know if they ever try to, but if they do, it's gonna be a very, very tough road for me. I'll
Yeah.
be like, "I wouldn't trust her ever." She's horrific.
Yeah.
Like,
Um,
the one other line when she said when Jen said, like, "The fact that you're 16 makes me feel that much sorrier for you."
mhm,
That
right.
you have so much time left to deal with you being basically saying, like, you have to deal with more years of you being you.
Yeah.
Right in the heart. Good stuff. Mm,
Um, so the next day, she's given the opportunity to submit her project,
yeah.
and she kinda looks around at everybody, and she decides to do the right thing and not do that, and take an L and actually, I guess, go to some school.
Yeah. But did you see the thickness of the basically the dossier and freaking little camcorder, the little VHS, the tiny one that goes into
Uh,
the big VHS, right on the desk? Like, she was ready to fucking too much. She does too much.
this was, I guess, life before PowerPoint.
I guess so. Like, it was just like I felt like there was a sizable thud when she like took
Yes.
stuff out of her head with the douche. And I was like, you guys spent hours talking about the sex life of your classmates. You think your teacher's gonna be cool with that?
Mhm.
Or whatever. You know?
So then Abby goes up to present her presentation, and she just kinda whispers to Abby, "Thank you."
Yeah.
And Abby's like, "Whatever."
It
We're
kind of
not
made
friends. This doesn't make us friends.
me feel good. It's like, thank you for thanking me to do the right thing this one time I've ever
Right.
been. It's yeah,
I guess it's a moment that's supposed to make us say, see, okay, she is human, and maybe
no,
she does have feelings. I don't know what they're trying to get at with that, but
not for me. It's not working on me. But I think it's mostly again self-preservation. Like she knows if she called everybody out like this, probably nobody would ever want to talk to her because why would
they don't
they?
want to talk to her now.
Right. Seriously, they should want to. Like, she's not trustworthy. Like, she's just gonna air out all your shit the minute she gets a chance. So, like, why would anybody want to be friends with her? She's a creature of her own making. The fact that Chris even wants to be around her is wild to me.
Well, he doesn't, from what we saw anyway in that one episode, it doesn't look like his parents are around much. So maybe he just does whatever he wants.
I
Also,
feel like there's some, with bullies like Abby, there's always some shit going on
yeah.
in the household. No one pays attention to her enough. That's why she acts like this.
So Pacey tries to talk to um Andy,
Mhm.
and it's raining out, and he follows her and gets in her car, and she's
Mhm.
like, "Get out of my car," and he like explains himself. Apparently, he got an A, his first A ever, and it scared him. you're you're like your heart's like breaking right now.
Oh, he's so wonderful, Andy. Why would you do this? Just take it back. It's over.
And
Just
then
imagine
he
sitting here
just feels like he's not
watching
the loser that everybody like says he is, and that he's actually changing. And part of that is, or most of that is because of her. He's like, he mentions, how did he word it? Being the old Pacey wouldn't have thought to think about if you were okay after what we did, or to ask if you were okay to do what we did. So they kind of make up. She's proud of him. And is this when they say that they love each other? I feel like they've said I love you already, right?
He's like, I'm falling absolutely madly in love with you.
Right.
And she kind of goes like, it's almost weirdly, she doesn't like completely reciprocate, but she kind of acknowledges that she feels the same way. She doesn't go, I absolutely fall in love with you too. Like she says something of the implication. She doesn't say I love you, which is kind of like, girl, you say I love you when someone says that to you. Say I love you too. I worship the ground you walk on. You have to meet the level.
Right.
He was so open and honest, and I love how, like, they made him, like, cover like, it was obviously raining to, like, maybe cover up the fact that he might be so emotional about it, and it was just kind of, like, the most it was, like, a perfect little moment. I just loved it, and I'm like, "That's right, my low TP lives, lives!"
I know what
I
I'm
ship
thinking about. The overnight episode, when they jumped in the pool, they had a scene where they were like, "Love to hate you, he'd love to hate you too." So
yeah.
that's what I was thinking about.
You know what? That I will take for them because, like, Pacey does not have it well outside in his life, like, other
Mhm.
than Andy. And, like, when they met and how they were such, like, weird opposites, he made all these, like, weird assumptions about her and all that stuff, like, just it felt like they would be perfect, and they are perfect, and I just know that perfection can never last in shows like this for a very long time. But, like, I love
And
the
now you're like walking on eggshells. You're like, when is it gonna happen?
episodes really are I do feel like are very with their storyline specifically is a very good representation of like what a really good, healthy, communicative relationship can be like for people, like if you're open about how you're feeling, like even though because he was trying, he wrote the note, he said like exactly what he was scared of, like
Right.
we're moving really quickly. I don't want to ruin this because he has his self-esteem issues still, like he still thinks deep down that he's not worth the love that Andy provides and the happiness that this relationship is bringing him. I don't think he thinks he truly deserves it. That's why it's scary because, like, if he puts all of the eggs in that basket or like believes that the world could be this way, and
Mhm.
she just poofs and disappears for whatever reason, or they break up, then that's all gone. It's a huge risk. It's a huge risk for Pacey, and I see that, and I hope Andy also sees that. That's why, like, she's like, "I love you." Basically, "I love you too." Like, "I'm here for you, man." Like, "We do this together," and, "Oh, Poofy."
Jen finds Jack sitting in a classroom in the dark alone, and she's like, "Hey, school's over, go home." And they kinda talk. This is, I feel like, the first time that they're actually alone talking since they went to the dance together, or they were
Yeah,
forced together at the dance.
yeah.
Um,
Hated it.
he mentions how he's not really into playing, like, the backup, the B team, and she's like, "Oh, you kinda get used to it."
Well, nobody should be.
Right.
I mean, like, honestly, that whole interaction in the classroom is all you need to know. They're not ready for you, boo.
Yeah. Did you feel like this one random scene of the 2 of them was, like, them trying to set up something for maybe a romance between them?
I don't know. It feels kind of obvious if it is. Like, they're the only two single people, so that means we have
Yeah.
to put them together.
That's something a daytime soap opera does, and whenever 2 characters that never interact all of a sudden start interacting, I'm like, "Alright, they're the next couple."
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if they would make a good couple because Jack feels very like, again, still really naive. Like,
Mhm.
he's obviously book again, a lot like Dawson in a way. It's probably why Joey liked him. Like, he's very book smart, but, like, still kind of emotionally naive. He's not grown up enough. I feel like Jen is so emotionally mature in a way that,
Mhm.
like, in a lot of aspects, maybe not so much in, like, grief and, like, regular life, that I think she's just a little above him in, like, level. It's not gonna, like, fill her cup is what I think really, but I go for it. Why not? He seems like a nice guy. He ain't gonna hurt her or nothing, you know?
But do you think Dawson's worthy of Jen?
No, I don't think Dawson's worthy of anyone. I think Dawson needs to
Okay.
grow up a lot. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I do think that ultimately him and Joey should be together because they feel like they're really, really in love with each other. So much so that, like, even when they're with other people, it's always got that going on in the background, which is not good for those other people. Like, they shouldn't be with them if that's
Um,
what's happening. Like, truly.
like, it's almost like even though they're with other people, every decision that they make, they're worried about how each other
Exact
is gonna react to it, and that
exact
shouldn't matter. They're not in your relationship.
correct. 100% agree with you.
It's like you're always walking on eggshells there because it's like, "Oh god, what's Dawson gonna think when he finds this out?"
Right.
Or if he finds this out, like, that's
Like
not
I said in, like, the one episode, like, Joey kept, like, a lot of the time, she kept, like, looking back, checking to make sure Dawson was either within eyeshot, earshot, whatever, and as he was even leaving, when they did that, like, cross by where Dawson gives Jack,
yeah.
like, the death stare or
Yeah.
whatever, he, like, turned around and watched his ass walk all the way down the dock, so it's kind of like she's always got him on her mind, like you were saying, and I think Dawson does too, and, like, he's like, most boys are very uninhibited, so, like, when he's feelings or these intense feelings that's why him going to Jen in her bedroom felt really weird to me because I was like, you guys are friends
Right.
last time I checked. Like, you weren't making like, Dawson's not a guy to make overt moves like that. So it's, like, very odd to me. But in the sense of, like, the theme of his plot in that particular episode was kinda like, do the things you wouldn't normally do. Do the adverse thing that your gut is telling you to do, and, like, his gut's always to stay away, so he just kinda went forward. But that's messed up to Jen because if you know how Jen feels about you, this is only messing with her head. It's leading her on to believe that you're going to be with her or have feelings for her and that she should wait for you, and that's not cool.
We know that as viewers and as fully formed human beings at this point, but I
Yeah.
feel like, not to say Jen's giving a mixed message, but, like, when they went skinny dipping, she said that she basically was like, "I don't wanna rush this into any of this. I just wanna, like, chill and, like, see, like, how this progresses naturally." But at the
Yeah.
same time, she was like, "Do you dream about me?"
Yeah. Yeah, like, Jen still that's kind of those scenes kinda led me to believe that these were supposed to be signals of Dawson to pick up on that she still has feelings for him. She doesn't wanna be the rebound. That's one of the main
But
things.
we
She
know
doesn't want
Dawson, he doesn't pick up on
Exactly. That's why one right now. Can't pick up on the non-subtlety of Jen, who is like
Right.
a brick through a window about everything. Like, like I think all like her pushing him away in the skinny dip when he thought that's what she wanted because he picked like what the obvious overt thing was. She's nude. So that means she obviously wants to have sex with me. Like kind of like it's just one of those things that like I think Dawson keeps going back to Jen ultimately as like this salve for the lack of Joey each time. And Jen can pick up on that.
Because it's his only other, like, experience with anything romantic.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's only really he's doing kind of what he did to Joey to Jen. Like he's kind of being weirdly not purposely obtuse, but being dumb and not acknowledging her feelings in a real way. And she's just lingering there, waiting for him to realize one day, and that she's there to be kissed. And when that whole meant when he literally like slooped through her window, it was just kind of like that was when all the walls, all the guards she may put herself up so she didn't do anything like that just went down because it's
Right.
like he's right there
Right.
presenting himself.
Take me now.
Technically, he's not with anyone, so it's kind of like why not?
Yeah.
But it all ultimately hurts. I mean, like the way she came up, the way she like literally stood up the minute he said that he had sex with her. She was like, no, no, no.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. We did not have sex. And now I totally understand why we shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Like there was a definitely a good reason why we didn't. Like,
Mhm.
and I just hope that like she keeps that in her heart and tries to genuinely move on. Like that's the one flaw with Jen is like I just don't think she knows how to like get beyond things. Like
Yeah.
she can acknowledge them, she knows what they are, she knows how to read other people. It's just when her own feelings, it's like how do you move past them, be better? Again, meeting someone new probably would really help. But
I have to say, I don't really remember Jen's, story for the rest of the season. I remembered her being sloppy drunk, which we already saw. She seems to have sobered up. She's working on the film with Dawson.
yeah.
I don't remember what her storyline is for the rest of the season.
I hope it's something fun that gives her something to do, like, cause like I said, I feel the same way about her as I was feeling about Joey in season 1, like, they just feel like she's just relationship fodder for Dawson to mess with, and in between bouts with Joey,
Right.
and who knows what they're dealing with,
She
like,
seems
what
to be done with Abby as a friend, which is good because that was
yeah,
not good.
no, they were not good, they were
It was
horribly
toxic.
toxic grouping, like, a lot of like what she was doing was really toxic for a while. I'm glad to see her like settled in. I hope she really puts her whole heart into the movie business. That would probably be great. She has a very good eye. That guy she picked out, I was like, that would actually be great at this time in life, like this time and age. Like who to be the male lead? Hell yeah. Good on you, girl.
Um,
Mm.
maybe she could start working on her friendship with Joey again. I don't know. I need my girls
Oh
back.
yeah, be best friends with Joey. Crying out loud.
If
But
she's truly done with Dawson after this, like I just need her and Joey to get back on track. Like,
well, when she was talking with Jack, I had hope because the way that interaction happened, where she was like, "No, we're shutting it down. Like, we should
yeah,
not have done that. You are obviously still hung up on Joey. I don't know why I thought otherwise." And that was it. When that happened, I was like, "Finally, maybe she can move on." But
yeah,
when she was talking to Jack, the way she kind of said, like, "Yeah, you get used to it. Like, you are just second fiddle." Like, she almost like resigns herself to this position when like Jen does not need to be resigning herself to anything. Like,
right.
you're young and beautiful. You have lots of stuff ahead of you to do. Like, move on. Dawson
You're
is not.
only in 10th grade. You're only in 10th grade.
I mean, like, again, this is always an adult like screaming at a young, insecure teenage girl. Girl, you got time. I promise you. Like, move on. Dawson is not it. Like, none of them are it. Like, seriously, like, focus on some other things because there'll be plenty of time for men and stuff. So, like, focus on the movie, focus on whatever. But her hair was wild also in these last 2 episodes.
I've grown used to
Uh,
the shortcut again, because
yeah,
watching season 1, I got used to it being long, and now I like seeing the short hair is always jarring at first,
yeah,
but now I'm used to it, and I'm kinda digging it, especially because she kinda has that now, not wild like it is, but she does the short hair now,
yeah, like,
and
the way they try to volumize it, and like it's the era of the spiky updo. Like
Got
eventually
a lot
this
of gel
hair with
crunch,
lots of
crunch in
gel,
there.
yeah, crunchy, like it was the crunchy curl time, and
Yeah.
like the thin bangs and the yeah. So like we're not I love her. I love Michelle Williams. It's just the hair is really getting to me a little bit. Like in the couple scenes, I was like, "Man, they didn't do you very good, girl." Oh, too
Yeah.
much gel.
So we didn't actually talk about the final scene of Joey and Dawson kind of making up in the rain.
Yeah, because it's kind of boring to be fair. Like obvious. Oh yeah, okay. You getting back together, shocker.
Yeah, like I didn't really know how to read that, like, because I just feel like they're doing this whole thing where I don't know if they're broken up.
Right.
Like,
Exactly. Well, it's the same thing about when she said that she needs time. She wants to figure out who she is. It's like, does that mean that you guys are not together anymore? Obviously, because like she immediately starts getting something going on with Jack. But like this whole thing kind of makes me feel like they want to be friends in some way. So like I'm hoping that maybe this will be another attempt to be friends, but like
hmm.
it's like a Ross and Rachel thing. There's always this.
And again, I know like Dawson's movie is kind of like center stage right now,
Mhm.
but this middle part, I don't really remember what happens with these characters. Like, I'm like, I guess it's been a while since I've
Well,
rewatched
then that's good. Stay
it.
ignorant.
I
I will.
remember the big things, I just don't remember how we get there.
Yeah. Well, stay empty in there. I
Yeah.
wanna react the same way. That way you be
I
like,
must
"Oh,
have deleted. I'm watching so many soaps. I must have deleted the
yeah."
Dawson Creek
You
memories
have
to make room for other things.
you literally are doing so many podcasts that has to happen. It has to.
Something's got to go
Someone's
before my,
gotta get out of here.
before my sanity.
I need to delete, like, episodes 7 through 9 of season 7 of this other soap just to fit in these next episodes. Yeah, totally. I hear you.
But something I do remember, just to give you a little teaser since I don't have any promos,
Oh my
is we're
god.
gonna watch another 2 episodes next time.
Okay.
And I think we're gonna get a little taste of Pacey's home life. We're gonna meet his father, I believe, in one of these episodes. Not
Oh.
sure which one, but we're gonna meet his family. More
Finally, because I'm sure they're just a treat.
yeah. Well, we met Doug, who isn't currently on the show because at the time he was starring in a failed WB show that only lasted 1 season during this TV season.
Yeah, I don't miss him. He's not a good cop. Just saying.
I just remembered him pulling the gun on PC because he called him gay.
That's a great, like, right there. Right there. That's exactly it. Not gonna say it, but cops. Mm, mm.
But other than the fact that we meet Pacey's father, I don't know what's happening next time.
Okay. Well, I love that we're both kind of in the dark. It
I
feels.
assume more movie stuff for Dawson's film.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, like, I'm sure, like, a little more back and forth.
There
Obviously.
is a well-known actress that should be making an appearance soon.
Ooh,
I don't know
okay.
when, but this must have been before her movie career
Mm,
took off. So,
okay, I'll try to keep my eyes peeled for anyone I may.
oh, it's not going to be like an Ally Lauder situation
Oh, okay.
or what
No,
you thought was a Rosario Dawson situation.
it wasn't
Like
Rosario
when you
Dawson.
see her, you're going to be like, there she is.
Yeah, it's gonna be Dana obvious. Okay, good. Um, good to know. Yeah, because
At least I think so. I don't know.
well, they really have to be main character energy for me to even care. Because I'm just kind of like, "Ugh." Unless
Yeah,
you're
she'll be pretty forefront, so you'll know.
cool, cool. I just want Andy and Pacey to survive. I will pray to the Dawson gods to have them survive as a couple to at least season 2.
Well,
These
right
people,
now, the one thing that's kind of lingering over them is her mental health that he doesn't know she has an issue with.
right?
So that's kind of the one thing I can think of at this point.
But like, is that breakup worthy? I feel like if Pacey found out about that, he'd probably be like, okay. I
Yeah, I
mean,
don't think it's breakup worthy. It's just something that she's refraining from telling him about because she's embarrassed, probably.
yeah. It's just one of those misunderstanding type things that it's like doesn't feel too big, but it could be really big if, let's say, like she stops taking her meds.
Right.
kinda goes and does something pretty bad
Right.
while she's off her meds maybe. So but I know, I feel like there's a ticking time bomb on their relationship, and it just I don't want it to be true, but I know these shows and how
Right.
they like to hurt me
They like to hurt you.
on purpose. Me personally, they say, Dana will in the future in 2024 will watch this for the first time and she will be heartbroken. And we did this for you, girl. Mm.
We are specifically gonna construct this show 26 years in the past so that when Dana finally gets around to it,
Exactly for me.
burn
Mm. Yes, correct. That is exactly what's happening.
it.
We figured it out, you guys.
We know the formula.
Whatever's gonna hurt my feelings the most, that's just gonna happen. So that's how we'll do it.
All right, any other comments before we wrap this up?
No, no, just Peasy and Andy live forever.
All right, well, thank you for joining us for another edition of Dawson's Creek. As always, you can find us on all the socials at Queers and Soaps. And until next time, have a great night. Bye.